The only thing you've mentioned is, at one time there was nothing, then there was something. Therefore, your conclusion is, there must have been an intelligent creator or something, a power, a
with a will,
that said,
with a will.
This is going to happen.
With a will.
With a will, whatever.
A necessary existence, not contingent upon anything else. Timeless and limitless, has a will and has intentionality. You're an agnostic. I've yet to hear a critique against any of this, so I'm struggling to see why you have not moved your position yet.
Absence of scientific support, the absence of any evidence.
So we know though,
that a religion cannot be proven.
So here's the thing,
hang on a second,
we know the absence of evidence is not evidence of absence, right? So if maybe you did not find evidence to support that claim, does not mean that's a positive for the claim. You know what I'm saying? So I still am waiting. I just want to know, why do you believe that religions cannot be proven or disproven? That's a big claim you're making. I just want to know, like, why do you make that big claim?
Because show me evidence. Show me something.
No. But there's a difference between being agnostic.
No. It's up to the religion to actually provide proof.
I agree with you.
For somebody to actually believe in it.
I agree with you.
For instance, I say there's absolutely no proof whatsoever. If, let's say, there was even a shred of proof, everybody in the world would follow one religion, but they don't.
I disagree with you.
For instance,
let's take one point, point by point.
Consolidate that point.
Okay, consolidate it.
Everybody in the world,
Sorry.
Everybody in the world knows and believes that water freezes to ice at 0 degrees. Okay, everybody believes that. Water turns to ice at 0 degrees. There isn't a faction that says we are the 5 degrees, we are the 10 degrees. Everybody believes in that one fact because it's a verifiable physical thing. It's believed universally.
That's not true. So let me say, no. I'll give you this. Science.
Zero.
No. So this is your claim, yeah. Your claim to me is that first, religions are neither provable nor disprovable. And when I asked you to give me substantiate this claim, all you told me is, if there were any evidence for religions, everybody would follow one religion.
Absolutely.
So here's the problem with that. And then you gave me science, right? You said your example is, science gives us evidence, and that's why everybody... Look at science itself. Science disproves your exact theory. People have evidences of things in science, yet there's varying agreements and disagreements from scientists and non-scientist people. So some people are flat earthers. It doesn't matter whether they're right or wrong. Is that people?
They're not.
No. There is a flat Earth societies. There's flat. Yes, there is.
Okay.
Okay. Let's not go that. Let's not go. No, 1 second.
Whoa.
1 second.
Go on.
Don't take the extreme example and then make it unto everybody else. I'll give you another example. People disagree about whether I don't know, with things regards to evolutionary models, the modern synthesis, etc. So there's disagreements among scientists within the fields and outside. So I don't know. 1 second. So what I'm trying to establish a principle with you is that just because there's disagreement and just because there's a lot of different options and that people are side on and against each other for what they think is the truth, doesn't mean that there isn't one absolute truth. That's all I'm telling you. So that because a lot of people take a lot of different religions, does not mean that religions cannot be proven, and does not mean that one religion doesn't have better evidence than the others. Does that make sense to you?
Frankly, no. Because
why not?
Because we're not talking. Science deals in actual physical things.
Yes.
When you're talking about religions, you're talking about something of an ethereal nature, something beyond the
metaphysical.
Physical.
Yes.
Metaphysical.
Sure.
Exactly. Something there is zero way for any evidence to be presented.
No. I'll pause you there. Maybe not scientific, empirical, testable evidence that's replicated in a lab, sure. But the reason that isn't the case is because you're using the wrong tool for the job. Nobody said that there is scientific evidence to prove this religion, that religion, or this religion. But is scientific evidence the only kind of evidence human beings accept? I'd say no.
What other evidence is there?
The fact that you use science in your knowledge, you're not even using it based on science. When you talk about scientific ideas, you're using testimonial evidence because you've never done a single experiment. Because I'm assuming that you're not a scientist in a lab, which you're not. You've never done a single experiment. You're taking the testimony of scientific reports. Correct. You're taking the testimony of scientists. That's all testimonial evidence. I'm not saying you shouldn't take it. Don't get me wrong. You should, but I'm displaying to you that your sources of knowledge are not all empirical. You take testimonial, you take intuitive knowledge. So we have other avenues. You have deductive reasoning. So you have your rational faculties. So religions don't need to be constricted to being proven and tested via scientific method.
Science, I'm not just talking about provable in a lab. Yes, I'm talking about testimonials from people who have that knowledge.
Okay, good.
Who have performed those experimentations, who have gained that knowledge, who can prove it on a scientific level. I can't, but I take their testimony.
Fantastic.
But what I'm saying is, with reference to religion, there is nothing, zero, that can actually prove the metaphysical.
In what can't prove the metaphysical? Scientific means of exploration, or nothing? As in, we can't rationally deduce metaphysical things. We can't, make argumentations for it. We can't look at teleological arguments or empirical faculty. I'm trying to grasp from you. Is it that we have an impossibility? No. Deductive arguments are not subjective.
Yes,
absolutely not. In fact, the scientific method is literally philosophers get together to decide and make what is the scientific method today. That's why we have a history of how the scientific method works. The philosophy of science is the bedrock of what we have as scientific method today and how we practice science. So you cannot throw away deductive and rational capabilities and methods of learning about the world. So I'm asking you again now,
yes,
can we learn?
Because you cannot gain any proof.
Yes, we can. Wait. Our mathematics proofs.
Are mathematics proofs? Mathematics possibly, yes, because it's specifically.
And what's
objective.
Mathematics?
It's not subjective.
Okay, but what's math based on? Philosophy. You should know that. Yeah. So deductive when you have formulas and then you're deducing numbers, it's the exact same way with a deductive argument. A deductive argument, if the premises are true, necessitate its conclusion. Necessitate it. And actually, in fact, I'll say this on camera, deductive argument is actually a way stronger form of evidence than any inductive scientific argument or theory or anything. Because an induction is when you take factors in your experience and generalize them to the non-observable. Observable, and then you generalize. So it is not like a deductive argument where if the premises are true, it cannot be falsified. The conclusion cannot be, it's absolutely the case. It is a necessary conclusion. So that's why I'm telling you, don't dismiss religions as not having an ability to be proven simply because we cannot do induction or some kind of scientific method approach to proving them. We could do deductive arguments, we could look at the testimonial evidence, etc. So now my question is, what have you seen that you were not convinced of as an agnostic?
The testimonial evidence you've just mentioned. In other words, testimonials from other people who do believe.
Sure. Oh no, that's not necessary. No. I'm not saying just because somebody else told you this and that, you should believe it. No, absolutely not. However, you said you're an agnostic.
I am.
So
because the hadith are just based.
No. Don't go to no. Brother, with all due respect, if you think hadith is subjective nonsense and it cannot be verified, you've never studied hadith. This is just so don't go to hadith. You're agnostic. Hadith doesn't mean anything to you anyways. It really doesn't. So let's talk about what actually is relevant to you, which is, why are you an agnostic and why do you not believe God exists?
Well, I've just said because
hadith has nothing to do with whether God exists. God could exist if Islam is false, if Christianity is false, if all religions is false.
Hadith is just pure hearsay. They're supposed.
Why are you stressed about hadith?
All the hadith are supposed to be based on.
Brother, don't go into hadith because hadith is irrelevant. You could say that, and you cannot at all substantiate it. However, I'm not interested in having that conversation with you because why? You're an agnostic. You're not a Quranist who have to talk with hadith. No, you're an agnostic. Let's talk about why do you not believe in God? What evidence did you think did not suffice that you're an agnostic? I want to know that because that's what's relevant to me and you. I believe in God and you don't. So why are you an agnostic?
Some form of evidence that would substantiate that claim.
What kind of evidence? What evidence is good? Would convince you? What's your criteria?
Logical evidence.
Fantastic.
To prove that God exists.
Fantastic.
And certainly that the various factions of God, be it Islam, be it Christianity, be it whatever, are the legitimate representatives of that belief.
Fantastic. Did the universe always exist?
Sorry?
Did the universe always exist, according to science, which we love?
Science doesn't have an answer for that.
Yes, it does. The universe is 13.8 billion years old. 13.667 or 78, somewhere there.
Some
No, it's
people
not.
get to that.
So wait, science is subjective now.
No. No. But I'm saying it's not science.
No.
Of course it's subjective.
No. I'm telling you, because you earlier were saying that science has the ability to be such a strong source of knowledge and has a lot of evidence that therefore people agree on it unanimously. Now I'm asking you a basic science, physics question,
Oh, that's
cosmology
not
question.
basic.
That's a very basic
No,
thing.
it's not.
Did the universe have a beginning? Scientific consensus? Yes. When? 13.8 billion years ago. What's it called? Where did the universe come from? Singularity, the Big Bang. These are basics
Okay,
that we're
here's
talking
another
about. Do you accept those?
How long has man been in existence?
That's irrelevant to the conversation right now because man, we're not. Who cares about man? We're talking about the whole of the cosmos.
Yeah.
All of everything.
All I'm saying is,
No. Don't move forward. We don't need to talk about man. When I could talk to you, I'm bringing you back all the way to the singularity. The beginning of the universe, cosmos, everything, the singularity, yeah? How old? 13.8 billion years ago.
I'll accept
Okay, cool.
whatever. I
So,
can't prove it or just
it had a
go on.
beginning,
Yeah.
therefore, it is contingent. You know what a contingent existence is?
no, continue.
Something that could have been another way. And we know this because everything about this universe is dependent upon other things. And all these things in this universe are contingent. And this universe had a beginning. Now, my question to you is, how did this come about? The second question is why? I'd
no
love to
idea,
hear.
and I don't know why.
Well, shouldn't you care to find out?
I'm not a scientist.
That's not a science question. It's actually a philosophical question. Why is there existence rather than non-existence? At a point, there was no existence. So why?
Could well be the case. I've no idea. I cannot provide the answer.
So your agnosticism has no explanatory scope for probably the most two foundationally important questions about your existence.
Correct.
So why hold on to something that has no explanatory scope and why not seek something beyond that?
No. I am open. An agnostic is somebody who's open to the suggestion.
Okay, good. If you're open,
But they 100% don't believe in
yes,
Islam, Christianity.
that's fine. I'm not asking you to be, and you're as an agnostic, this checks out.
Saying,
So if you're
this could-
open,
I can't disprove it,
Yeah.
so therefore I am open to it.
okay, fantastic. So then, question is, where did all these contingent existences come from?
I have no idea.
Well, you should have an explanation for this.
No, I
These
don't
things,
have an explanation.
Well, you should.
No, we're only just.
What kind of explanations have you looked at that you were not satisfied with?
We have only science, and it's only just.
We've already. You said your criteria for evidence was not science. You said your criteria for evidence was logical reasoning, rational evidences. So I'm asking you, where did contingent existences? Because contingent, by definition, contingent upon something else. What were these? What is all of this contingent cosmos based on? What is it contingent upon? What is it dependent upon?
I don't have. What I'm trying to tell you is, for the fifth time, I don't have the answers.
Okay, good. So, do you think that we could have this conversation right now? No.
Will not have something imposed on me. Like it's
Nobody.
like
No.
Christianity.
Nothing should be imposed on you.
Makes no sense.
Nothing should be imposed on you. That's why we're having a conversation. I didn't put a gun to your head and tell you you better believe this. We're having a conversation to debate whether we should move our positions around. You see what I mean? So all I'm telling you is this contingent world that we live in is contingent upon something else. Now, the fact that we're having a conversation right now is proof that an infinite regress of contingent past causes cannot be the case. And I'll tell you what, do you accept this?
Continue.
The reason is because the fact that we have a present moment right now, the fact that we're having this conversation means that there couldn't have been an infinite number of past events. See what I'm saying? Because if the past went infinitely backwards, you would never have the first event to actually occur for the dominoes to strike to this conversation right now. So, logically speaking, we could deduce that an infinite regress is absolutely absurd. Therefore, these contingent things that are going on, they need to be contingent upon something that which is necessary. Do you understand what a necessary existence is by any chance? Okay, so a necessary existence is something which is the opposite of a contingent thing. It's independent, not contingent upon anything else, did not begin to exist, eternal and limitless. And everything, could not be any other way and exists in all possible universes. That's what a necessary existence is. And why is this the case? You need a necessary existence, and you should accept it just based on the fact Logically, you cannot have an infinite regress. Now, what part of this do you disagree with, if any?
I'm an agnostic. I'm willing to listen. That's the point of
Okay, so you just listened. So now give me your position after you've listened.
No. My position is still the same. I'm an
Why
agnostic
now? Because I've given you
religions make no sense.
No. I have not talked about religion this whole time. I have no interest in talking about religions with you.
Right.
Because you're an agnostic. It's like me putting the cart before the horse. Religion is a conception, an idea of what God is, and a way to connect, and a set of rules and regulations from that God. You don't even believe in God. Why would I talk to you about this? It's nonsense to you. So I'm trying to get you to, let's discuss and see if that we can both accept that God exists. Now, do you accept that an infinite regress is absurd?
Look, I think that you use too much of big words and you don't actually get straight to the point. Because I'm not understanding. I've been listening.
But
For us to be here because it has to start somewhere.
Sister,
There was, in other words,
sister, I could break it down to you because I was having a conversation with him. If you don't understand it, oh no, but I started out with me. I didn't know that you came later that you didn't understand it. So if you want to understand, that's not an issue. All of this universe began to exist at some point.
Okay.
And this, because it began to exist, it was at a point where it didn't exist. Therefore, it needs an explanation for why it existed. And this explanation cannot be, okay, do things come from nothing?
I'm not saying that things come from nothing, but you impose like the idea that there have to be a why something started.
I mean, yes. Again, can nothingness bring about something? Can absolute nothingness, which is the absence of everything, bring about something?
In that case, no.
No.
But I don't think you're saying like that.
No, I'm just asking. I'm asking with you, yes? Can absolute nothingness, which is the absence of everything, doesn't exist, it's a concept only, can it bring about anything, let alone the universe?
Conceptually, no.
Okay, fantastic. It's absurd. It's absurd,
Unless
right?
somebody come up with an explanation as to
It's
why
absurd.
it could, I
No.
couldn't
There
understand
could never be an explanation. The point is, it's logically absurd. It's impossible, right? It's impossible for nothing to bring about something.
Yeah.
Right.
Fantastic. Can the other
Keep
option?
that word logic in mind. But
Brother,
carry on.
sorry. But another thing is, okay, so now we said that we took away the option of the variable of nothing brought about something. Fantastic. Okay, can something that doesn't exist yet bring about its own existence?
Conceptually, it's illogical. Correct.
Can your mom create herself?
No.
Okay, fantastic. So that's option number 2. Therefore, something other than this thing had to bring it into existence, right? You can't create yourself. Somebody else has to create you, right? Fantastic. So now the question becomes, what is this what is this thing, right? What is it? So what I'm telling you is, it has to be a necessary thing. It cannot be like anything else. Like you could tell me, oh, my mom created me. I could be like, what created your mom? And then you would tell me my grandma, and we would go infinitely backwards. Now, the point is there's a finite number of contingent things, and they cannot all rely upon each other infinitely. You need something that is outside these contingent sets that brings about all the contingent things. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, but that thing cannot be born by itself because of what you just said.
So that's why that's why I said to you, you said to me, why are you going into why are you making things more complicated? That's why I needed to use those words so that you don't ask me a question like that. Because now you're asking, why can't God, or why can't this first thing create itself, or create why doesn't it need to be created by something else? Because it is not a contingent thing. By definition, because why did I explain the absurdity of an infinite regress? You can't have a chain of just infinitely things needing other things.
What he's trying to say is, there had to be a beginning.
There had to be first
therefore
one
had
thing
to be an initiator of the beginning.
But
was
that's
eternal.
But that's something that you believe. But
No. That's not something that I believe. That's something through me showing you that an infinite regress is absurd. That is a rational proof for why there needs to be at least one thing that does not have a beginning.
There's a beginning, therefore there was an initiator.
That's not my opinion. I didn't give you an opinion. I gave you a rational argument.
Yeah. How does that? Okay.
No. So then wait. So then, do we accept that the universe must have come from something? Are we there yet? But brother, just please the camera.
Sorry.
Do we accept that?
Someone had to create the first human.
Sorry? No, we're talking about the cosmos. No need to get into human, please, brother.
Forget that for the minute.
So,
in my opinion,
Yes.
we don't know that because you are
idea.
considering the
I
time
think
of the
it's
line
a
of the universe as a line.
Oh no, I'm
Time
not.
have to be
I'm
like
saying
a
this is
start,
pre-time.
like an infinite.
I'm
It
saying
can
this
be
is
a circle.
pre-time. No, I'm saying it's doesn't matter even if it's a circle because there would all be contingent.
No, no.
Go on.
Because a circle, by definition, is infinite. It's like a certain or infinite.
Yeah.
So if it's infinite,
Two
then
things.
continuous, it can be infinite. There's no
Yeah.
need to have a start.
No, so here's the thing. An infinite within a contingent, it's still, you need to explain that infinite. You need to explain that contingent infinite. You understand what I'm saying? Because at one point, it didn't exist. So, by the way, you're saying that it's an infinite, but you have no proof for that. I reject that it's an infinite. Exactly. The scientists reject this. Philosophers reject it. We have no reason to say that the universe is infinite. In fact, everything we see tells us and shows us that everything is contingent. So, contingent things need at least one non-contingent thing to explain them. At least. So all we're trying to say now is we know that it's impossible for things to come from nothing. We know that this something cannot be like me and you, cannot be contingent, cannot be like anything within the universe. Therefore, it needs to be outside of space and time. Because space and time began with the universe.
Okay.
So outside of space and time, not like us, necessary, always exists. Now we get to something else. This thing also needs to have had a will. Willpower, an ability to choose. Why? Because an eternal, there's something called like an eternal cause equals eternal effects. Give you sum it up for you. You know, on a light switch, when you press the light switch, immediate effect, right?
Yeah.
Now, there was a point in time where there was no existence, right? There was no, like, cosmos did not exist, correct? The problem is, if there was always the necessary being, which we say necessarily by the definition, it always existed. Therefore, there could have never been a point where the universe doesn't exist if it was just a machine, like a cause and effect. Because if the cause is there, the effect has to be there. You understand what I'm saying? So therefore, this thing needed to have a will to say, at one point, it did not want to create, and then at another point, it chose to create. You see that?
Okay.
A machine, it doesn't choose. You press it, and it does the effect. Cause, effect. But something that has a will chooses not to exercise the effect, and chooses not to, or chooses to exercise the effect. Is that clear?
Yeah.
So now we have, outside of space and time, a necessary existence that has a will. Fair enough? So now, get to your agnosticism. Where are you at now?
The same.
How? What?
I'm at the same. The only thing you've mentioned is at one time there was nothing, then
Yep.
there was something. Therefore, your conclusion is there must have been an intelligent creator or something.
Yep.
A power, a
With a will.
something that said,
With
"Guess
a
what?
will.
This is going to happen.
With a will.
With a will.
Yep.
Whatever.
Yep. And beyond that, do you have any critique of that, for example?
No, I'm open to that suggestion.
Okay, so if you're open to it, so let's explore what more we could find out about this. The laws by which the universe functions are all laws that could have been in another way. You're leaving now? Okay, inshallah, yalla, let me just finish up. I'll leave you with this, yeah? The laws that the universe functions by could all have been a different way. And the fact that they are a specific way shows intentionality.
No, it's not true.
Absolutely.
It shows casuality.
No. It shows intentionality because they could have been any other way and they could have been maintained as such. So, the fact that they're maintained in this specific way shows that not only is there will, there's also intentionality behind this specific way because the universe could have been a billion different ways. Absolutely is.
No, it's
And there are
not true.
a
Right, okay,
billion
tell me how.
stars. There's a billion universes within that. You know,
Yes, but precisely my point. Because there were so many iterations of how the universe could have been, it's a one specific one and it's maintained as such, shows intentionality behind that. Therefore, now we've established outside of time and space, a necessary existence, not contingent upon anything else, timeless and limitless, has a will and has intentionality. You're an agnostic. I've yet to hear a critique against any of this, so I'm struggling to see why you have not moved your position yet.
I'm an agnostic in the fact that I do not believe in any of the established religions, but I keep an open mind
No.
as to something.
No, but you've already, okay, so yes. So now, do you accept that this something has a will? This says something has intentionality. This something is outside of space and time. Do you accept all these things?
Intentionality. Define intentionality for me. You're saying that
It's intentional.
it's an intention. It is as it is because a divine creator
Orchestrated.
of some sort orchestrated
As such, yes.
No, I don't believe that.
Why not?
It doesn't make any sense. That's why.
Oh, I'm waiting to hear why.
For instance, let me just take down to the human species.
No, don't take it down. I'm not interested in the human species
No,
because
but
existence was way before the human
it's all
species.
but
It's
all
quite a
part of this.
micro.
No,
It's a
no.
micro approach. No, I have no interest in that
all
because
part.
evolution is getting stuck in the micro when I'm talking about the cosmos. I've no interest. Humans could be wiped out of the earth. I don't care.
And then we are discussing the matter before.
Yes. I'm not interested in the detail. Let's get to why is there existence? Why is there? You have to explain that before you tell me which species evolved to what species. I'm not interested in that.
This divine creator
Yes.
that you're basically trying to sell me on, you're telling me that the world, the universe, it's billions of stars and, and universes that are in existence.
They're all
They
contingent.
Are all controlled by, all contingent on this great creator.
Absolutely.
And it's all therefore under the control of this great
Absolutely.
creator. It's not under control.
If they're contingent to that, by definition, that they require that creator for everything, they're contingent upon it for their existence. There would be no stars, cosmos, anything else without that necessary being.
No, but
Simple.
Your definition of the creator is something who creates and then maintains control as well.
Of course.
No,
They're contingent. They're always
No.
contingent.
The creator, you're saying, this creative force,
Yeah.
you're calling it God. I'm talking about a possible creative force of some sort.
No, but we've already said
Created
this
all of
this
these
creative
stars.
force. That's why I'm trying to. I know that that's your position. I'm trying to move you away from it. None of this energy force. I'm telling you, has a will and intentionality. That's the point. It's not some woo-woo like we can't. No, it's an agent that has will and intentionality.
Honest answer
Hang
to
on,
that
whoa, whoa,
question.
whoa, please, hang on, hang on.
You need time to wrap your head around what you said. That's the
No,
honest
no,
answer.
I agree with you.
Nothing to do with
100%.
No, you are so
Be over your
focused on
head.
Islam.
That's
and
way
Bro,
over
okay,
your head.
listen.
That's way
Take,
over your head.
I anyways need to head out. Take this time to reflect on it. We could have a second discussion next week.
No.
He didn't even mention the word Islam. I don't know why you went to Islam.
Because this guy is so blinkered onto Islam.
Why?
That's why.
Why would you assume that about him? Why? Because he has a beard?
Because I've already spoken to him earlier.
Okay, so what if
What
it's
I'm
like
trying
no
to say- You're
You need
talking about
time.
No, no.
the creator.
Listen.
That made
No.
Creator
I've not mentioned the word Islam.
Control. No.
No.
That maintains control.
Yes, and what's crazy about that?
because there's so many.
Yeah, what's crazy about that?
I'll tell you why. Because there are so many irregularities, so much evil, so much
Irregularities? Our universe is filled with irregularities. Whoa, irregularities.
Total
Why do you think
irregularities.
the only reason we could do science is because the universe has regularities? The only reason. If science did not function on regularities, wallahi, the whole scientific enterprise would disappear, it would crumble. That's the reason we could do science, is because the universe operates on regularities. So, and that's why, and these, exactly, that's why. So the fact of the matter is, these regularities require an explanation. And I told you, the fact that these regularities exist in the way they do, and not in a different way, shows intentionality. Shows that this creative agent that was able to bring about this universe at a time where he did not need to, he was not forced to, he did so by his will, he did so by his intentionality. That's all I'm asking you to accept. And I'm waiting for you to hear, I'm waiting to hear a criticism against those two things. You've not provided it.
Because you have basically said that this creator maintains control. Yes,
Anyways.
that is what you're saying.
Okay,
He has
take care of yourself.
control. That our
Take care.
existence,
Okay.
our existence,
Take care
and the
of-
existence of the universe. You're not listening.
No,
mate.
I'm listening.
You're not listening.
I've sat and listened to you the whole time. Let's leave it here and you
doesn't
reflect
make
on what I
any
said,
sense. And you
and
reflect
we'll.
on what I've said,
No,
because you're
I'll
not
reflect.
making-
I'll reflect,
you're
and
not
but I've
making
answered.
sense.
No. I've
There's no
answered.
such thing as creativity
I've
and
answered
control.
every single thing that you've put forward.
you haven't.
Yes,
The
I have.
control part, you
Yes, I
haven't.
have. Yes, I have. You know, you've just objected to it. I've waited for you to give me a reason why. So, anyways, we'll continue this. It was nice talking to you. Yeah.
Okay.
So cool. He's on
I was gonna do
control
something.
thing.